Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and it's your first time here, welcome. My name is Milena, I'm an artist and I like to make videos about art related content. And today I wanted to talk to you guys about books. You may not know this about me yet, but I love books. I am constantly looking for new books about art or art related topics, books about self-help, books about physical therapy ever since my neck injury. So today I thought I'd share with you guys 4 of the books that I am reading now and books that have helped me in the past couple of months. So first we're going to talk about is Draw Stronger by Kriota Willberg. This book is adorable. It has a lot of exercises that you can do, but it's all illustrated, as you can see. And it has like all sorts of different exercises that you can do in order to be a better artist physically. Stretches, wrist exercises, routines. Because I injured my neck recently, and that was because I was sitting like a jerk, and it really took its toll. I couldn't draw for a couple of weeks, and even now I can only draw about 3 hours at a time without any pain, and then I have to stop and take a break. But I was always very cautious about wrist injuries because I was warned by artists like, you know, Lois Van Barla, and my teacher Gladys Moore when I was little about, you know, you have to do warm-ups, which I will make a video about what kinds of warm-ups I do for my wrist. But this book taught me a lot about other parts of the body that I didn't even consider that came into play when I was drawing until I got my neck injured, and then it's like, of course. So it's a little bit hard to find. I had to find it at half-price books for cheap, but Amazon had it a little bit expensive. So, but I definitely recommend this book. The next book we're gonna talk about is called Trust the Process. As you can see, I'm still only halfway through it, but this book has changed my life both as an artist and as a teacher. It's the type of book that I have to read a chapter and then put it down and let it percolate and think about, you know, what I just learned. It's not one of those books that I can power through because the knowledge in it is just so deep. It has chapters talking about stepping into the unknown and the fear of the blank page, and the many ways of creating that basically says that if you're a creative person, you're usually creative in multiple areas, and you need to touch up with those areas if you're feeling, say if I'm feeling like burned out on drawing, I'll pick up my kalimba and I'll play a little song, or I'll take my guitar, or, you know, sing, or whatever, however many other hobbies I have, or maybe hobbies that you have. You can pick it up and dance or act, you know, those things all feed your creative self, and when your creative self is fed, you're more productive in all areas of creativity. Here's a quote from it. Once we realize that artists are themselves expressions of every conceivable way of living, we can begin to appreciate variations of creative types. And another one is, errors are harbingers of original ideas because they introduce new directions for expression. And this book was instrumental in me reading it after my injury because I was feeling like a little black cloud and I wasn't much help to anybody, and then after reading this I started thinking more creatively and trusting that whatever I'm gonna put out is gonna be good enough for now. And also, do you guys ever feel like when you do a piece, when you're starting out with a new medium, say you've never done watercolors, and then you pick up watercolors for the first time, you don't know what to expect, and then it turns out that you have a lot of happy accidents that you didn't even know were possible, and then when you're doing it next, then or like a second piece, you're gonna try to emulate and make those same choices, and it's not going to be as expressive or as free as that first time that you did it. And that's because in the first one you were reacting to what's happening, right? You are putting down a line and it's not like exactly where you wanted it to be, so then you try to fix it, and in the end you have this really fluid piece. And on the second time, when you plan too much, there's nothing wrong with planning too. If that is your bag, you do you, babe. But for me, I always find that if I'm not really forcing it to go in a direction and I'm allowing myself to learn through the experience and to keep an open mind while I'm drawing, I will often find that I quite like the result much better than when I have everything super planned out. The next book we're going to talk about is by John R. Koser, Watercolor Red, Yellow, Blue. The reason I love this book, I've been reading a chapter of it every morning, and as I will show you in the box up ahead, you will see that this artist is incredible. He mixes the color on the paper. He doesn't pre-mix the color on his palette, which gives it a much more vibrant result than if he was like mixing the colors individually or even having several tubes. And he goes through a lot of explanation about color and light and value and tone. So if you, and composition and even drawing, which I wasn't expecting a book about watercolor to have such in-depth drawing advice, and composition advice, it's really wonderful. I definitely suggest, and thank you to my friend Corinne who told me about this book when we were Skyping recently. It has really made me want to be more experimental with how I place the colors. And if you follow me on Instagram and you saw the weird piece of the girl that I did recently with just primary colors, it was inspired by this book and this method of working. So again, that's Watercolor Red, Yellow, Blue by John Koser. And then finally, at last but not least, my friend Jill Hatzer, shout out, she sent me a link to this book, which I'll show you in a second. Don't get hasty. She sent me a link to this book, and since I already had the Mayoko book on my cart from the same shop, I just ordered them on Amazon like as soon as she sent it to me. I have been really into retro illustration, and this book is all about retro illustration. In it, my teacher, who I took the class from, class 101, Tree 13, his art is in here. Let me just find it. And when I saw that his art was in here, I was like, ooh, sold, you know, also because he only sells his art and merchandising in Korea and Japan. So this is the only way that I could ever have to have something that he made. This is his art. But I love retro style illustration. There's something super nostalgic about the 80s, the 90s. I'm an 80s baby. So I really, and then, oh my gosh, and then like the colors are so pretty too, with the blue and pink and teal. It's like this book was made for me. And I do dearly appreciate when my friends know me that well, that they're like, ooh, I think you're gonna like this. And I'm like, yes, you're absolutely right. Sold. But I'm trying to be more frugal because I am a minimalist in some ways. And so I'm trying to not purchase many things. But I couldn't help myself with this book. It brings me so much joy, and it's been currently out on my dinner table because I will flip through it and be inspired every day that whenever I sit for like a coffee and a muffin in the afternoon, I'll flip through this instead of watching something on my phone, or instead of flipping through Instagram, I will flip through this book and just be completely inspired to do some more retro art. So if you're into retro art, it's called the New Retro Illustration. and you can order it on Amazon, and it comes through Amazon Japan, and it was supposed to not arrive until the 22nd, but it arrived super fast, which means I'm even happier. So yeah, that's it for the book reviews today. These are the books that I really love right now. I'll leave the list of them down below, and I think I'll put a card here too, so that you can see and take a screenshot of these books if you want to use them for research. Let me know in the comments if you want to see more videos like this, or even if you have any book recommendations for me. I'm always open to reading and finding new things and new artists. I just want to inspire, and I just want to be inspired by the world. So, wow, this was a chatty video, but I guess I'll see you guys next time. Oh, before I forget, remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help my channel. So anyways, I'll see you guys next week. Until then, stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye!